Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of the Guido Goes Off. As always, I thank you folks for watching. A big welcome to the new subscribers. Thank you for joining the few but faithful, and I hope you enjoy the ride. So ladies and gentlemen, as it was announced this Monday, of course the huge announcement that had been hyped up by WWE, the announcement was given this Monday on Raw, and that being the all-women's pay-per-view WWE Evolution. It was announced that this will take place on Sunday, October 28th, and it'll be broadcast live on the WWE Network. Of course, it'll be at the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, so tickets will probably be coming up soon for that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, this was touted as a monumental announcement that for the first time the women would have an exclusive event all to themselves. So why, of course, is WWE doing an all-women's event? Is it to be touting the abilities of their current women's division, or is it simply damage control? As we all know, it has been a huge contention with fans ever since the event that the greatest Royal Rumble, the event that took place in Saudi Arabia, did not include women. Of course, all the reasons were given for that. That being that the government of Saudi Arabia, who was sponsoring this event, specifically said no female talent. Now, of course, the women were actually paid to stay home. And now, and like I said, there's been this huge backlash because we know WWE has been celebrating this evolution in women's wrestling for quite some time now. That they have touted all this great female talent, and they're not wrong. They have easily the strongest female roster they have ever had in their history. And they're right to showcase them individually. But I believe it is part damage control as of the huge backlash because of the women's exclusion from the event in Saudi Arabia. That being said, there's also been some backlash from some people who are like, well, where's the all-male event? Clearly you missed it. I believe I just talked about it like a few seconds ago. It's called the Greatest Royal Rumble. Give that a look if all you want's a sausage party. Now, of course, there's also been some other talk in regards to the women's division, and that being the lack of popularity and support for the current champions. I've actually been wanting to talk about this ever since I read this article that was done by Kevin Eck, who works the pro wrestling desk for a sports website, and also worked in WWE Creative, or as we all refer to them, the Enemy. In this, he said that Carmella and Alexa Bliss, of course the reigning Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions, would have been a perfect fit if they were still called Divas. Of course, we're talking to the Divas era, where beauty and buxom was more important than wrestling ability. Of course, I have a tendency to agree with this assessment. I mean, don't get me wrong, Alexa Bliss is great on the mic. She's a good heel. But one thing I'm noticing, her skills have not progressed. In fact, they have regressed. She's not doing as much in the ring as she used to. I mean, she does sell. She does make her opponent look good. But as far as finishing moves, I know she's kind of stepped away from the Sparkle Splash, which she did use to defeat Nia at Money in the Bank to become champion. But she has also, and also the basement DDT, and also using God damn forearm! It's where I have drawn it's where I've drawn comparisons to her current title reign and her last few reigns as the Raw Women's Champion to the record-setting reign of Nikki Bella as Divas Champion. And as we know, Nikki was dealing with neck issues at the time, did not wrestle as much as she probably should have, but, of course they were protecting her. Stupid, I mean, but what do I know? I'm just a guy who talks wrestling. But again, it has, it has drawn comparisons to that, where Alexa has drawn comparisons to Nikki Bella in that aspect. And now we move on to Carmella. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to come out and say it is extraordinarily clear that they are doing everything to validate Carmella. In fact, it's more than likely the reason why she is the women's champion right now. I hate to mention this, but for the past few years, ever since, and I hate to even say this, but ever since Paige became Divas champion on her first night in the company, the night after WrestleMania 30, the women's championship has not been about achievements. And for most championships and most promotions, anywhere you go, any championship, it should be marketed as an accomplishment. As is it's the culmination of all your hard work and dedication. And because of that, you become champion. What it seems nowadays, especially in WWE's women's divisions, not that I'm saying not so much NXT, but then again, Shayna Baszler becoming champion like shortly after she joined the roster does kind of lend itself to this argument. It's not that these championships are achievements, but are instead validation. As well, this person is not quite on par with everyone else, but we're going to give them a championship so that it levels the playing field. So basically, it's the way they're doing it is simply saying that Carmella is champion, not because she can hang with the likes of Becky Lynch and Charlotte and anyone else, the Iconics, and all these other women on the roster, but it's in order for her to hang with all these incredibly talented women. Now, like I said, WWE has done this for quite some time, putting titles on wrestlers, on female wrestlers, where they're not really, as far as skills wise, able to hang with the rest of the division. I mean, Nia Jax is about there, but again, not quite to where she needs to be that dominant heel. They've kind of just undercut her at just about every turn. The other reason why these two are champions right now, there's really no other dominant heels in either division. Okay, let's start with Raw with Alexa Bliss as champion. Okay, let's look at the rest of the heels on these rosters. Okay, you have Mickie James, who's basically been turned into Alexa's lackey. Not really given her own material or a chance to sign, but basically just being her little helper. You have the Riot Squad, of course, Ruby Riott out with injury, and really Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan kind of basically just spinning their wheels right now. being reduced to, you know, kindergarten hijinks. Yeah, I said it. You know, Alicia Fox could possibly be a heel, but, you know, she's just basically been returned after being exiled because of her argument with Ronda Rousey's husband. And Dana Brooke is languishing. So right there, you know, you have, and then of course the whole thing between Sasha and Bayley, which we don't know what in God's green earth is happening there. So on that roster, you know, if you're looking for that dominant heel to hold the Raw Women's Championship, it's Alexa by default because you don't have any other strong heels. SmackDown side's the same way. You have, you know, like I said, the Iconics, who are basically just getting started. You have Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, same situation. And Lana, you know, is switching, you know, Lord only knows if she's face or heel. When I was at the live event, she was part of a heel team where she teamed with the Iconics against Asuka, Nikki Cross, and Naomi. So, once again, by default, but then again, you're having to add all these things to not only keep Carmella champion, but keep Carmella viable. I mean, Ellsworth was brought in simply so that it would be believable, and believe me, that's still a stretch, believable for Carmella to be champion, to beat Asuka. So, as we can see, WWE does have a lot of work, at least as far as their main roster champions are concerned, going into Evolution. And more than likely, SummerSlam should help with that. As we know, Alexa will be defending the Raw Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey. And now it's been posted on SmackDown that Carmella will be defending against Becky Lynch, who I got to meet, and I got to meet the live event. It's awesome. I'm sure you've seen the picture. And of course, a lot of legends have been touting Becky Lynch's ability, and to be honest, it's about time. It's really about time. She has been, you know, putting in the time and the effort and doing everything. And she's extraordinarily popular, and why not? She should be champion. But again, like I said, even though basically this event's damage control regarding the Saudi Arabia events, and of course it happens to be during October, which of course, as we all know, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so they're probably going to be smearing Susan G. Komen all over this thing. Again, it's about time. Because we know, you know, Impact has been doing all-female events on pay-per-view for years now. Of course, we've seen the rise of all these all-female promotions such as Shimmer and Shine and Rise and Stardom now from Japan getting a bit of a foothold with American audiences who like to see great female wrestling. It's about time. You know, it's been time. It's been well past time for this. And as much as they want to pat themselves on the back from this, WWE, this has been too long coming. But again, it's great that finally, this event's happening. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of The Guido Goes Off. As always, folks, I thank you for watching. And I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of the all-women's pay-per-view WWE Evolution? What do you think of the current state of WWE's women's division? What's your favorite female wrestling? Let me know in the comments section below. As always, you can talk to me via my social media platforms, Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget, if you haven't gone by it and given it a like, go ahead and drop by the Guido Goes Off's Facebook page. You're seeing a lot of big things happening there. Of course, I yammer. I post the videos there. And of course, seeing great announcements of some great wrestling. And as always, please like these videos, share them with everyone you know, and of course, if you have not yet joined the Few But Faithful, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. And if you missed the incredible event that we had this past Saturday, RCW River City Revenge, if you weren't able to go to the Oakley Lindsay Center, if you haven't yet caught the live stream, ladies and gentlemen, you'll get another opportunity, as Artists United Network will be presenting RCW's River City Revenge. Once again, it will be on their YouTube channel. You will see all the excitement from RCW's event at the Oakley Lindsay Center in Quincy, and there will also be some bonus content that was not seen in the live stream. So even if you have, even if you were there, which a lot of people were there, thank you for coming to it. And a lot of people have seen the live stream. I think it's had over 2,500 views, which that's incredible. You could see it again this time, even more for you to enjoy. And if you have yet, like I said, if you have yet to see the great wrestling that Rampage Championship Wrestling provides, now is the perfect opportunity. And of course, if you want to see it live, I talked about this after the interviews. The RCW will be having their Summer Showdown Sunday, August 5th at the Litchfield Community Center in Litchfield, Illinois. Doors open at 4 o'clock, pre-show at 4:30, and the event kicks off at 6 o'clock. Of course, like I've mentioned, the Cruiserweight title will be on the line. Nero defending the RCW Cruiserweight Championship against the man that never lost it, Exodus. Also, the RCW return of the Native Nightmare, Jeremy Lightfoot. He will be in action, and if you've seen any of the back and forth, there could be a lot more exciting action coming down the way. As always, please stay tuned to RCW's Facebook page. Also, I'll talk about it here. So again, great time to be a wrestling fan. I can't stress that enough. But unfortunately, it's time to wrap this up. So ladies and gentlemen, as always, I am the Guido, and I think we're done here.